Peace, family. This is Lions Den with another news and commentary. Shout out to Atlanta Black Star for this article here. News station gets dragged after failing miserably to criminalize BART stabbing victim Nia Long. I'm going to read this article and then I'm going to give you the rest of my commentary. Folks are outraged over a local news station's attempt to criminalize an innocent victim of a fatal stabbing attack in San Francisco Bay this past weekend. Nia Wilson, 18, and her sisters were on their way home from a family gathering Sunday night when police said suspect John Lee Cowell assaulted the women in an unprovoked prison-style knife attack on a BART station platform. Wilson was stabbed twice in the neck, killing her. Her sister suffered minor injuries but managed to flee the attack. Police arrested Cowell on an Antioch-bound train late Monday night, Associated Press reported. A KTVU Fox 2 News reported about the deadly incident feature a photo of Wilson brandishing what appears to be a gun as she smiles at the camera. Critics were quickly to call the station out for its blatant disrespect of the victim and accused the media of trying to criminalize her. Anyway, after some digging, it turns out what Wilson was actually holding was a cell phone case that looked like a handgun. The media has been the best and most effective method of spreading propaganda, lies, and stereotypes. One Facebook user commented they didn't want broad sympathy for her. Their bosses would rather marginalize her humanity than display it. These TV news stations need to stop. I'm sick to death of the media portrayal of innocent victims, wrote another. What was the point of this picture? It was cell phone case. She minding her own young business, riding a train with her sister. She was murdered for being black. How do we call them out and fix that? They are despicable. Others questioned why the station chose that picture in particular when there were tons of other photos to use to memorialize the young woman. Why not a prom picture or a graduation picture? One person wrote, the level of hate is higher than you try to portray this young black woman as being associated with guns rather than show her as being an innocent black woman that was minding her own business, enjoying life until someone came and took that from her. What's worse, though, is that they depicted her this way to portray as dangerous when there are tons of pictures of white teenagers holding huge rifles and guns and nuts. Loved it. Another commenter chimed in. Growing outrage over the phone ultimately led to the station to issue an apology on Facebook page. I'm going to stop you right there. I'm going to give this, and I'm going to say this with my heart and soul. This is what they do. This is what the media does. The media is portraying all young black victims across this country. Look what's going on. They victimized Trayvon. They victimized Mike Brown. They victimized Laquan McDonald. They victimized Rakia Boy. They did that to Sandra Brand. They did that to Elton Sterling, Fernando Castillo. Every time there's a black victim being murdered, either killed by police or by a vigilante, they victimize the victim and make the suspects, make the killers the victim. This is what they do in the mainstream media. This is why I said that even if they do have a criminal past, what this have to do with what happened to them now? They don't deserve being killed like that. And yet you try to portray, they try to distort and that's what I'm saying, they fabricated and try to smear the victim for protecting white supremacy. See, this is what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. When white supremacy is not a person, it's a system. And the media is part of that. So you look at stories like this, and it turns out it was a cell phone case, not a gun. And it's like they're trying to find everything to say, well, see, this is why police justified of killing this guy. Or this is why the vigilante justified killing this guy. Look what he did. He smoked weed. Or he hang out with gang members. What does this have to do? Or he's been in trouble with the law. What does this have to do with what happened now? And this is why I'm so frustrated with the mainstream media and with local media trying to smear the victim. Instead of finding out the suspect of the criminal past he has, they smeared the victim. And it goes time and time and time again why we as black people don't want to watch the mainstream media anymore. Because all the lies and fabrication they use to distort and ignore the situation. Now, this beautiful black woman, Nia Wilson, didn't deserve to die like that. This murderer cut her throat, slit her throat. And she and her sister would mind their own business riding the subway to their destination, and this guy want to attack him. Let's call it the way it is. They're protecting their own. They're using code to protect their own. And this is a perfect example of it. See, this is why I said, ladies and gentlemen, we as black people, we can't fall asleep on anything anymore. Even the mainstream media, it has white supremacy in it. See, everything has white. Every time there's an unarmed black men and women murdered, or been shot by police, or being killed by a vigilante, or being killed by a white supremacist, the media distort the victim's past, try to smear their past, see, and make them say, see, this is why he was killed. This is why, basically, blah, blah, blah. This is why, they're justifying the killing. The media justifying the killing instead of feel sympathy of the victim and their families. But see, now we as people need to stop this and say enough. We don't want to hear that. And I'm glad people call in their TV station down there, local TV station down there, and go off on them and say, no, you can't do that. This has to stop. You smear Trayvon, make him look like a criminal. You smear Mike Brown, his past. You smear Elton Sterling, Fernando Castillo, Riquillo Boyd. You smearing and Sandra Bland. You smear her, try to smear her. You smear all the victims that were brutally murdered by police and by white supremacists. You try to smear the victim instead of going after the suspect. And that's not real journalism. That's bias, in my opinion. That's straight bias. So, ladies and gentlemen, my point is that instead of smearing the victim, and I know y'all media is watching my videos too. All y'all mainstream media, like CNN, like MSNBC, and Fox News, instead of smearing the victim, feel at least being sympathetic to the victim's families because they lost a child of a most heinous attack. Instead of smearing and finding something in the past, why not do some real journalism for once and feel sympathy? You felt sympathy when a high school shooting happened, when mass shooting happened in high schools, when the victim was murdered. You felt sympathy for the families then. Why not y'all do the same thing to this family, or all the families that lost their child through unarmed police, killing by police or killing by vigilantes or white supremacists? Feel sympathy for those families too. Because at the end of the day, they lost a child. They lost a child by a white supremacist. They lost a child by a police officer that don't deserve having a badge and a gun and don't wear a police uniform. So all I'm saying is, and I'm not telling you guys what to do. Y'all do what y'all want to do anyway. But instead of attacking the victim, instead of attacking the victim, why don't you remember the victim of who they are? Why don't you, feel sympathy of their families? That's all I'm saying. Feel sympathy of the families. Because if it comes to another race, you'll feel sympathy not to the victim and their families. Well, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think about this video. Share this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my reaction channel. And subscribe to my Black Junction channel for all the news and commentary. With that being said, this is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.